the Kentucky River Clean Sweep, Parks Archery Tournament, and cleaning up from recent storms. This and more up next on this week's edition of Lexington Now. I'm Neil Noah, and this is Lexington Now. The annual Kentucky River Clean Sweep is rapidly approaching, and there's still time to sign up to help out with one of Central Kentucky's most popular cleanup programs.
I'm Jennifer Myatt with Lexington's Division of Environmental Services, and today I am out near the Kentucky River, which you can't see behind me because it is raining, to talk about the upcoming Kentucky River Clean Sweep on August 18th. If you've been following us on Lex TV, you know that the river sweep was supposed to be in June, but we had to reschedule due to high water. And you're probably looking at all the rain around me and wondering if we'll have to reschedule again. But the river conditions are fine. It was just that in June we'd had so much rain in the spring that the river was too high and too fast. But the river will be totally fine on August 18th for the upcoming river sweep. If you're interested in coming to this year's river sweep, it's at the same location where it always is, which is under the 75 bridge at the Clays Ferry boat dock, and you can use 9079 Old Richmond Road on GPS to guide you here. It's August 18th, and we will start getting people in boats from 8:30 in the morning until 10 a.m. So please arrive by then so that we make sure you have enough time to go out and clean up litter from the river before lunchtime. So our volunteers that day, we ask that you make sure to wear clothes that can get wet and dirty, dress for the weather, have bug spray and sunscreen if you feel like you need it, and we will send you out on boats and canoes in the river to clean up litter and trash from our waterways. It's especially important for us to keep the Kentucky River clean because it is the main body of water that runs through the south of Lexington. And so many people use it for boating and fishing and other recreational activities. It also is where we get our drinking water as Lexingtonians. So it's important that we keep it clean for us and for all the little critters that live in the river. If you're interested in bringing your own boat to the river sweep, you can do that as well. And as usual, we would prefer that you sign up in advance so that we know you're coming at riversweep2018.eventbrite.com.
Parks and Recreation is hosting the Bluegrass Archery Tournament at Heisel Park. Kenneth Black fills us in.
My name is Kenneth Black. I'm the Outdoor Adventure Programming Supervisor here for Fayette County Parks and Recreation. What I do is anything outdoor recreationally activity-wise that you would like to do. I do archery, I do canoeing, I do paintball, I do scuba diving, we do rock climbing, we do skills classes, overnight camping. Anything you want to do outdoors, get kind of out and away from the city, that's what I do, that's my job and what I try to provide for the people here at Lexington. So we're out here today at the Heisel Farm Park Archery Range. We're getting ready to move into hunting season, bow hunting season especially. A lot of people come out to use our range here to try to get their bows sighted in, get everything weighted and tested, and that's what we like to provide the facility for. We do come out here and upgrade and change our targets pretty regular, so that's what we're fixing to do here in the next couple of weeks is upgrade our targets, get everything polished back up from the regular shooting season, get ready for hunting season, which is our main volume. People are welcome to come out here. Gates open at sunrise. You're welcome to shoot from sunrise to sundown when we lock the gates back again. A couple things to note for our archery range. We do not permit the use of broadheads. So if you are going to shoot broadheads, we do ask that you bring your own target. Second thing is crossbows. Most of the targets we place up out here are not weighted for the velocity and impact that crossbows provide. So if you can, shoot your own targets for crossbows and broadheads, that will make maintaining these targets quite a bit easier on us. If you're interested in getting started in archery and you just, maybe you've done it a couple times, you just picked up your own bow, got a bow for Christmas and you want to learn, we do offer a program out here that's called Sunrise Archery. It's once a month here at the Heisler Park Archery Range. I'm out here from usually about 10 o'clock in the morning till 1. We offer open instruction, so you bring out your bows, your arrow, and your equipment. I'll spend time teaching you, how to get your bow tuned up, how to draw, how to shoot, and the general functions for good basic introduction to shooting so that you can begin progressing on the hobby on your own space. So on the 18th of this month, we have our annual Bluegrass Archery Tournament. It's just a fun competition shoot that's not necessarily following the NASP or USA Archery rules. It is just a recreational shoot. We have different age groups and different age brackets for standard shoots, long distance, and single shots. We have the targets that are behind me here are 48-inch round diameter targets that we will be shooting on. The distances will vary depending on age group from 15 meters up to 25 meters. So if you want to get involved with the archery tournament and participate, it is a $5 entry fee per competition that you wish to shoot. You can get registered online through our website at lexingtonky.gov/parks. If you put in the search bar Bluegrass Archery Tournament, it'll pop right up for you. You can register on the website there, or you can call us at McConnell Springs Park at 859-225-4073 and register over the phone through there.
After the break, we'll take a look at the city's cleanup efforts after the late July storms.
I'm Sergeant Randall Combs with the Lexington Police Traffic Unit. Accessible parking is a valuable and necessary resource for people with disabilities, and that includes the striped area next to accessible parking spots. These are access aisles, and it is illegal to park here, even if you have an accessible parking permit.
Access aisles are necessary for me to get into my vehicle. They are there because many of us need that space to use our ramps or to transfer into a wheelchair. It's frustrating when a car is parked in the access aisle because I don't have room to get into my van.
Police and Lex Park are writing tickets when they see vehicles parked in an access aisle, and the fine is $250. Know where and where not to park. Keep the access aisles clear. Thank you and drive safe.
Welcome back to the show. On July 20th, a strong line of storms struck Lexington, causing widespread damage to trees, property, and infrastructure. But the city responded with safeguards we have in place. We spoke with a few of our divisions about how they handled the storms. When the storms first hit Lexington, police were among the first to respond. But as Sergeant Billy Richmond explains, they were not alone.
It's a coordinated effort, not just with the police department, but several things come into play within the urban county government. Streets and Roads, of course, is working diligently to clear roadways of the trees and things like that. We have people that coordinate with Kentucky Utilities or whoever the utility company is to ensure the safety of the citizens, because once these things pass, then we have to deal with the aftermath and those folks who are affected by it, whether it's simply a power outage or if they have some structural damage to a home. So there's a lot of different agencies that become involved. That also includes the fire department, our emergency services people through DEAN. So once an event like this occurs, we really have a maximum effort through the urban county government.
Acting Commissioner of Environmental Quality and Public Works, Charlie Martin, tells us how they responded.
They were on the job Friday night right after the storm hit and stuff, just basically opening roads, pulling things off to the side of the road to be able to, so traffic could pass, public safety oriented.
Chris Cooperrider of Parks and Rec explains what they do in these situations.
As soon as the storm's over, get out and assess the damage to ensure that the parks are safe for people to enter them and enjoy. And what we experienced during the storm was power outages, as many do, and we had to close down some of our recreational facilities, not just because of power outage, but also for safety's sake of the public.
Sergeant Richmond explains how, because each storm is different, they constantly monitor its impacts and respond accordingly.
A whole lot of things come into play. I mean, clearly the weather forecast kind of sometimes may help us. It's very hard to gauge exactly the impact of what a storm may or may not be. But once we start to recognize that we're going to have widespread damage, potentially power outages, those sorts of things, we have to start looking at our ability to take care of things that are affected by power outage. In this case, a lot of it was traffic signals and so forth. I would estimate probably 35 to 40 intersections in town that didn't have power. A lot of those were major intersections on major corridors. The way our lights are set up, when power fails to the signal, they've now been equipped so that we can put what's called a power inverter on it, and that device is hooked to the control box and then hooked to a cruiser, which ultimately the cruiser is the power source, and then the traffic signal can run again on its own power. Where that really benefits us is some intersections, depending on the size of it, the volume of traffic, and the type of road, that could be an intersection would require 3 to 4 officers doing manual traffic control. And then when you get the human factor with that, an hour or two of traffic control is pretty taxing on the body.
Mr. Martin tells us how his division initially responds to a storm.
We would send waste management folks into an area to start with and try to canvass where the critical areas are at. Then we would send the knuckle boom trucks and the additional resources in with the collection people. The yard waste folks had an extra man on the back of their truck, and so yard waste was ramped up this week anyway. But as the yard waste passed through and the drivers passed through, they made note of areas that's too big. I can't pick that up by hand. We're going to have to send in the mechanized crew. And then the mechanized crew came in the following day, or Wednesday, which was not a normal collection day for us. Tuesday and Wednesday was the makeup day, or try to pick up the extra that was on the Monday, Tuesday collections.
Curtis Mitchell with Parks talks about the challenges the city's golf courses faced.
That next morning, after Friday night, that Saturday morning, our first initial mode was, what's the damage on the courses right now, and is it playable? And all of them except for one were playable. Lakeside was the only one that had serious enough damage where we actually had to shut it down. We didn't have power at Tate's Creek or Lakeside. Tate's Creek was a day and a half, Lakeside was 2 days. Day and a half pretty much at Lakeside as well. So immediately it was just seeing, are we able to get people out on the golf courses? Are we able to provide the golf service or not? And it was a challenge to get everything back up and running, but we're getting closer.
Mr. Cooperrider tells us how resources are reallocated to get things up and running at parks as quickly and safely as possible.
On large storms such as this, we defer other maintenance activities, i.e. baseball fields we don't prep. We don't get around to collect the refuse at the shelters and the parks as much. We focus on the storm damage first and foremost. We have all of our parks and trails open and accessible to the public. We are still in the cleanup phase. In other words, the trees are pushed off to the side. Folks can use our trails, Legacy Trail, Brighton East Trail, other trails. We got our recreational facilities up and running, so you can use those, come out and enjoy. And we're at the point now is it's cut up, clean up. We'll probably be on it for another week and a half.
After the initial response, it's now time for cleanup and the difficulties involved. And Mr. Martin explains how you can help.
It's challenging only because, not everybody sets everything out the same way. In some of the areas that we're picking up, they're not part of our normal collection route. They're private haulers, but yet we're still coming out there to get that storm debris. If we don't provide them a means to be able to dispose of it, that could present problems in other areas, and we want to try to avoid that if all possible. The folks that are actually removing this stuff and bringing it here instead of us collecting this is helping us a lot. So don't discourage anybody from taking matters into their own hands. If they have a friend that has a trailer or a truck and they want to bring it down here and dispose of it, we'd be happy to take it. Because like I said, that you won't wait as long probably as far as having to wait till we get there, because it was a widespread problem, and with 500 calls and they continue to come in, it's been difficult to catch up, much less get ahead.
The storms really brought out the best in people and showed how fortunate we are to have the resources and the community we have.
We're real fortunate, I think, as a community to have those kind of resources available to us, and like I said, we're always continuing to grow on that.
Our folks helped with the free food giveaway the day after or the Monday after, so we pulled a couple of our staff to help with that initiative as well.
I think all of us that work for Parks and Recreation love the aspect of community, and you really got to see that on that day. We got there and there were people lining up before it even started, which meant it was a need that was really there and really needed to be met. And then we had people there trying to pick up food for their neighbors, trying to help family members get in the door, kids being encouraged to use polite manners as they came through. I mean, it was just really a good showing of people coming together and getting through a situation.
That's one of the great things about Lexington, though, is that people pitch in together, and it's been a really good outcome, I think, so far, because everybody's worked really well together. Folks that have called LexCall and asked us to come for a special pickup, they've been very patient as far as waiting for us to get there, realizing that these kind of storms really tax our resources.
As cleanup from the storms continues, there is also regular yard waste to deal with. Lauren Monahan tells us how to handle both.
I'm Lauren with Lexington's Division of Waste Management. Lexington's Division of Waste Management services many residential properties around the city. One of the services offered, along with your regular waste pickup and your weekly recycling pickup, is yard waste. Now you see next to me a gray yard waste cart. This is the best way to dispose of your yard waste material. Acceptable yard waste material includes tree clippings, grass clippings, leaves, and other organic brush from your yard. Some things that we don't want in that mix are plastic flower pots, plastic bags of any kind, or anything that is not organic material. Another method for disposing of yard waste at the curb is by using one of these bags. This is a yard waste bag, and you can actually receive free coupons for bags at local area stores such as Lowe's, Walmart, Kroger, Chevy Chase Hardware, and Meijer. So you can place any of the aforementioned materials in this bag as well. Another method for disposing of yard waste is by cutting up your tree limbs or branches into 4-foot lengths that do not exceed 6 inches in diameter, or 50 pounds each. You can tie and bundle those and place those at the curb as well. All of the yard waste is collected on your regular collection day in your neighborhood. Now, we recently saw some storms blow through Lexington, which resulted in lots of downed tree limbs and other organic material in many yards around the city. We ask that, to the best of your ability, you attempt to properly prepare that yard waste material. If you're unable to prepare that, if there's a very large tree limb or something like that, we ask that you call LexCall for further guidance. We can likely, in emergency situations, come by and pick that up with a special pickup.
The council is in its final week of summer break, but we still have a busy televised meeting schedule this week. On Wednesday, we have the Police and Fire Pension Board meeting, the Courthouse Area Design Review Board, and the Board of Architectural Review meeting. And on Thursday, the Planning Commission meeting. These meetings will be live on Channel 185 and on our live stream, and you can find any televised meeting archived at lexingtonky.gov/LexTV, or find our other programming here or on YouTube channel LexTV. That's all for this week. Keep up with us on social media and check out the latest traffic updates on Twitter at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on lexingtonky.gov. For the staff and producers at LexTV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.